We were going through a really, really difficult time. Saying that I really don't want to cry. Um, but as much as I did not want this to happen, I feel like this time has just like really shown me how much I've grown as a person and how much that God has shown me that I've needed this growth to become the person that he has created me to be. Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in. Hi, if this is your first time visiting, my name is Nichelle, also known as Melanin Bank. Welcome to my channel. So this will be the first time I've ever done like a sit down chit and chat type of video. Usually I'm doing vlogs or get ready with me or traveling, something of that sort. But in the last couple of videos, I've definitely promised you guys that I would do a sit down life update type of video. So here you go. The last few vlogs have definitely been kind of jumbled. I've jumped from moving to Atlanta to kind of showing you what happened in between that time of moving and being in New York and getting married and all of that. So if you haven't checked out those videos yet, I encourage you to just go ahead and watch that, because what I'm gonna say in this video is gonna make a lot more sense if you already have that context. Yeah, where do I begin? Where do I even start? I'm trying for this video to not be very emotional, so do bear with me if I do get a little teared up. But starting from getting ready to be married, the preparation of getting married. From the last few vlogs you saw, I was traveling back and forth from New York to Atlanta to Miami and everywhere in between, it seemed like. So that was the whole preparation of getting married. When we were in Miami, that was maybe 3 months before our wedding, and we were set to get married in September in Atlanta. And of course, if you've seen the previous vlog as well, you know that we did move to Atlanta, and that's why we decided to host the wedding in Atlanta. So after getting the dress fittings and everything all done for the dress, we were kind of all set on the dress aspect, but in terms of everything else for the wedding, to be honest, I was scared out of my mind. I was scared shitless because, one, I've never lived anywhere outside of New York. I mean, I grew up in Jamaica, but when I moved to the US, I moved to New York and have lived there for the past 8 years. And so the idea of moving outside of New York, moving to Atlanta, was just very new for me, and also just like a very scary experience. On one hand, I was super excited about the prospect of moving to a new city, especially a city filled with all these Black people, the hospitality, great food, and just the energy of Atlanta. I was definitely on board for that. But on the other hand, I was just very shocked. I was very scared. All my friends, network, everything that I've known since I've been here is in New York. Everything that I know has been in New York. And so I was honestly just like not looking forward to leaving all that I've known. And it's kind of crazy coming from someone that literally packed up their whole life, moved to the US by themselves to pursue a career in fashion, to now be scared about moving to another state. It's just like, wow, am I even the same person? And of course, the quick answer to that is like, no, I was absolutely not the same person at all. Well, obviously older and a lot less carefree, I will say. The world have definitely did its number on me by then. So I feel like in that moment, I was definitely scared about the possibilities. Also, my job. I was modeling at the time. I had an agency. My agency is located in New York. And I've also done a lot of influencer work, all of my brand connections and stuff like that based in New York. So literally my source of income is in New York. So as you can imagine, I was just scared. I was scared to take the leap and make that change. But ultimately, we come to an agreement and decided that maybe this would be the best move for us and for our future, because we do hope to start, on a family. Thinking about where we want to settle and raise our kids is a huge deal. So we ultimately decided, okay, maybe Atlanta will be a great place to settle and raise kids. So after my bridal shower, which happened in June, we were set to leave New York in August, which was 2 weeks before our set date for the wedding. Bear in mind, we did not have a wedding venue yet. We did not have our vendors together, which was also extremely scary for me. My single life, I was very much like gone with the wind, like whatever happens, happens. But I feel like since I've been in a relationship, I'm just like, I want stability. Like, I want this to be a sure thing. If it's not a sure thing, then I ain't going nowhere. It's not working out. So we fast forward to August, where we're packing up literally, or it's been 2 years now since living together in New York. So we're packing up for 2 years of life in New York City and making the trip to Atlanta. We had packed up everything and basically shipped it off to Atlanta, and we took a flight over to Atlanta. At this time, we were staying in Airbnb. It was very emotional. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was so emotional for me. I myself did not think that it was gonna be that emotional for me. I was like, yeah, I mean, I literally packed up my life at the age of 18. Was I 18 or even 17? And moved to the US by myself. And I was ecstatic when that happened. And this experience was completely different for me because honestly, I did feel more at home in New York. I'm not gonna lie. Like, New York has become my home in such a deep-rooted way that I don't even know how to describe. There's just certain things and perks that you get in New York that you literally cannot get anywhere else. And so New York is definitely one of my favorite places, like, ever. So yeah, it was extremely emotional for me, but I sucked it up, got on a plane, and flew to Atlanta to start this new chapter in my life. Anyway, got to Atlanta and it was full speed ahead because we have 2 weeks before we celebrate our union in front of our entire friends and family. Talk about stress. Okay, talk about stress, because like I said, we didn't have a venue locked in, we didn't have our vendors locked in. All we really had locked in was my dress and his tux. So we basically planned a wedding in 2 weeks, y'all. I would just say that. Like I said, we were in talks with a potential wedding venue and their vendors, but it turned out the date we wanted got booked, and this was a week before the wedding. You guys, I don't know how to describe this feeling, but I was distraught. My heart sunk. I mean, it was broken in a million pieces because, I mean, my family from Jamaica is coming in less than a week, really. And we still have no idea what's happening. We still have no idea what's going on. It was depressing. It was kind of depressing. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of depressing. But me even thinking about it now, just like, I don't even know how we got through that, but we made it through. Thank be to God. We made it through. And in just the nick of time, as God does what he does. And I feel like this is truly a testimony. Like, as God does what he does, the Thursday the week before the wedding date, we lucked out on a venue, and it was actually even more gorgeous than we thought we could have ever gotten. Like, everything was fully set up, everything was really nice. Like, luckily the venue organizer, she had already had a wedding planned for the day before our wedding, so she said, y'all don't have to worry about flowers. I'm gonna save these flowers for you guys and we could just reuse them. Y'all don't have to worry about this. The decoration, all of that, I'm gonna save it for you. And it was a fraction, not maybe even 5%, but a fraction of the cost of what we were gonna pay at that original wedding venue. I broke down so hard. I broke down so hard because it was only by the grace of God that we were able to get that. Only by the grace of God that was even a possibility for us. And it really just all worked out for the better. So we got the venue sorted, thank God. And yeah, literally it was just up to getting like the rest of the vendors, which turned out to be not as hectic, but still, the pressure is on. I mean, we're less than a week out, so the pressure is definitely on. And we ended up DIYing a lot of things. And honestly, by the end of the day, the wedding came and everything turned out amazing. Like I couldn't have asked God for it to be a better day. It was honestly still the best day of my life. Everything that I've ever hoped for, ever imagined, turned into reality without me even realizing it until, looking back at the day. It was all just like, it was so romantic, it was so magical, and having the best people around me, the people that really support and love me and love us and our union, it was everything. It was everything. So after the wedding, of course, we're fully moved into Atlanta now, but we're still staying at our Airbnb. What I probably should have prefaced with, this also was not the best year for us in terms of financially. After all the wedding expenses and everything like that, I was broke. And then we moved to Atlanta, so my access to opportunities and income kind of shrunk. It kind of shrunk a little bit. And so we were going through a really, really difficult time financially. And I feel like that's very much on trend with a lot of the world as well. But by the end or the middle of October, it got worse. It just so happens that my in-laws actually just got a house. We decided that maybe it would be in our best interest to come down here, move in with them, help them get situated while we stack up on our bread. You know what it is. So that was November 2022. We said we wanted to stay for about 2 months and then we're gonna head back to Atlanta. It is now October 2023. Almost a year, about to be a year. I'm laughing because I didn't see this. Like, I really didn't see this coming. But in my heart, I had like a really weird feeling when initially you told me 2 months. And I was like, yeah, we can do that. We'll stay here for 2 months, help them out, and get back to our life. But I had this feeling like, and I don't know if it was God just telling me to prepare myself, but I had a feeling that we would be here for much longer. And here we are, almost a year in. And to be honest, I'm actually going to say this is what we needed. I'm going to say that this is truly what we needed. You've heard people say that the first year of marriage is extremely hard. It was. Me reflecting on the past year, it has been extremely hard. It has been extremely hard, but hard in the way of a lot of growth, because in order for you to see and go through growth, there will be difficult times. There will be super tough, challenging times. And I think that's exactly what we've been through for the past year. Not only navigating the first year of marriage, but navigating living with his parents, navigating more disagreements in a space where we don't really have the freedom to express our emotions the way that we would if we were alone, type of thing. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you get the drift. In a way, I feel like I am spiritually stronger. I've never been so conscious and intentional about my walk with God. I mean, I've always been blessed. I fully believe that God has been watching over my life. And it's not until we've had to go through this time together that I have been so intentional about showing up for God as much as he shows up for me, about learning the word, about learning him, and being in a space where I feel like I know God and I know what he has done for me and I know what he is going to do for me. I feel like this time has just like really shown me how much I've grown as a person and how much that God has shown me that I've needed this growth to become the person that he has created, to become the person that he has created me to be, to walk the path that he has paved for me. I don't know if I'd be that person if we decided to stay in Atlanta or stay in New York. I don't know if I'd be this person if we postponed our wedding. I just don't know. But what I do know is that this path and what we've been able to accomplish with each other during this time has been a blessing, because I feel like I've learned so much, not only about myself but about my partner, about what he needs, what he wants, what he's striving for, what he's wanting to accomplish in life, and how I can be the person to not only support him, love him, but help him get to the level that he sees himself being at. I think during this time I've really learned to be less selfish. Moving to New York at such a young age by myself, it was almost second nature, or kind of taught to me to be, you gotta look out for yourself. You gotta look out for yourself, and you really gotta care about yourself. It sounds disgusting, but you really just got to care about yourself in a lot of ways, because you're fending for yourself. Ain't nobody there to hold your hand or you to fall back on. And so, like, coming out of that, being with someone that is selfless and so caring and so understanding, it was so hard and so jarring for me to even accept. In some way, like, it was really hard for me to give that to him. Like, that, it sounds crazy, but yeah, it was really hard for me to give that to him. But I feel like during this time, this period, we've had major ups and downs. Through those disagreements, I've been able to really learn about myself that sometimes I don't fight fairly. Sometimes I go for the low blow. Sometimes I'm just like really emotional, like overly emotional when I really don't need to be. But if it wasn't for this period of isolation, if it wasn't for this period of transformation, I don't think that I would have found out these things about myself. And these are things that I really needed to know. Because in order for me to be the mom that I see myself as, or the mom that I see myself being, I need to know these things. Like, I need to know how I'm going to handle disagreements in front of my children. How am I going to handle them probably, like, pissing me off or something? Like, how am I going to handle that? How am I going to react to those things? And I think this entire year was the preparation for what's to come. And I'm honestly just like so excited. I am beyond excited, beyond hopeful, like I'm just like on the edge of the seat waiting, because I know that things will change. I know, that's a fact. I know, I'm a believer. I am faithful. I know that God will see us through this time, and I'm just here waiting for when it happens, because it will. Saying that I really don't want to cry. But as much as I did not want this to happen, or as much as I didn't see this happening, I'm really grateful that it did when it did. Because I feel like if we can conquer this and get over this hump in our lives, like, we're gonna be unstoppable. As a married couple, like, we're gonna be unstoppable. And I truly believe that. Like, I've never loved anyone like I love my husband. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm stopped. And I'm really the type of person that, like, I don't believe in divorce. Like, I've always said to myself, I've always told myself that, once you get married, that's it. It's one time and done. One and done. We're not out here to get married 3, 4, 5 times. That's just not happening. I'm just extremely grateful and extremely happy that I married the person that I did. And I fully believe in him as a person, as a husband, as a provider, a protector. Like, I believe in him. And even more so, I believe in God. And I mean, when we met, it was literally I remember telling him this, but like, God made him for me, and I know that for a fact. Like, no one can tell me any different. Like, God made him for me. And the way that we met, in the manner that we met, if you follow me on TikTok, then you, or Instagram, then you know our love story and how it all started. But just in the manner that everything happened, you couldn't have wrote it any better. The sequence of events, that was only God. Like, it was only God. Only God could have done that. And so I do believe that this is a fully God ordained relationship, a fully God ordained marriage, and we're here for a reason. This moment of isolation, this moment of just like fully deep diving into us, into building those blocks of foundation that's needed to make it for the next 50 years. Fingers crossed. The next 50 years, if this is what we needed, then I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. Yeah, that's kind of the life update, you guys. If this is something that you enjoyed, please let me know in the comments. Give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you get notifications every time I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I got a little emotional and I said I wasn't gonna do that. But I really appreciate you guys sharing this intimate space with me. I am gonna go get ready to make dinner. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you again for being a part of my intimate space. I enjoy you. I encourage you to value yourself, value your opinions, value your thoughts, and be positive. Above all things, be positive and trust in God. And I'm signing off until next week. Bye.